Good morning, sports investors. How are you doing today? Welcome back, Betting Public Sports Show. I'm your beloved host, Fame Rothstein, aka Michael Snackson, aka Bay O Wolf, aka Malcolm Excellence, aka Hacksaw Jim Thuggin. Today is Sunday, December 17th, 2023, week 15 of the NFL. Okay, now we got 3 joints for you. Okay, but before I get to them, I want you to like and subscribe to this channel. All right, like it. Okay, hit that like button for me. Okay, if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, because as you know, we don't just do sports betting picks on here. We do a few entertainment things in here. Do some sports takes, pop culture takes. Entertainment, news takes. You know what I'm saying? Um, we do it, like I said, we do a couple entertaining ventures on here as well. So you'll get a little bit of everything on this channel. So go ahead and please like and subscribe. You know, as you can see, I'm well into the Christmas spirit. Got the Ohio State hat themed holiday hat. Yeah, that's real. That's real blingy up top right now. And I got the shades. I'm dripping right now because I feel so good. I'm not got slim and muscles is almost all the way back. You know what I'm saying? Like, about 96, I looked incredible. And then, just from there, it's been all downhill. But I digress. But so, yeah, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, okay, make sure you share it to a friend, okay? Share it to a friend, family member, all right? Because like I said, these picks are for free. I do this for you. I don't get nothing for this. I get the satisfaction of going here and talk a little shit, and that's what this is. I get to have some fun. In the picks, they right there with any of the top handicappers, 55 to 60% overall, and this year. We haven't done much this year. Like I said, went to the weight loss joint. Little clinic there. But let's get into the action, all right? For today, all right? Because I got one at each hour, 1, 4, and I got the late game, all right? So let's start in the order they play. 1 o'clock game, okay? Got the Chicago Bears, monsters of the Midway, going across I-90 to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's call this the Rust Belt. Well, no, because that'd be probably more Buffalo. But yeah, we call this the Rust Belt Bowl. Rust Belt Bowl, huh? Chicago at Cleveland. All right, Justin Fields, Chicago quarterback. Chicago's 5-8. Their running game. Their running team. Because their quarterback. They basically got 3 running backs out there, or at least always 2. Because the quarterback's more of a running back than he is a quarterback. He's gonna beat you more in the air. He's gonna beat you more on the ground than he will in the air. Okay. But coincidentally, the same Bears team went to Cleveland last year and beat the Browns. All right. But Cleveland, they're coming out with that #1 defense in the league. Okay. Myles Garrett, possible defensive player of the year. You know what I'm saying? And they done got Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco. They went and got him. And not only that, we need Cleveland. Right now they're in the playoff picture as the 5th seed in the AFC. We took them to make the playoffs this year. Don't forget that. We took them to make the playoffs this year, and I think they're going to make it. Plus, they got to win, as they see that they got the tiebreaker on the Bengals because they didn't, beat them in the regular season, and the Bengals just won in overtime against Minnesota on Saturday. But I think Cleveland's going to be too much for the Bears to handle. I think Cleveland's a 3-point favorite. I'm going to go ahead and take Cleveland on the money line, -165. I'm going to add half a unit to that. You know what units, how we do that? If, you usually bet, like, average bet in America is $100. So if you usually bet $100 on a single game, add half of a unit to that. Okay, so that would be 50. So you'd bet this game 150. Okay, if you usually bet $100. You know, I know some of y'all bet way more. I know some of y'all bet way less than that. So it just is what it is. Whatever your pockets handle. You know, 1 unit is 1%, right? Okay. Then at 4:25 p.m. Okay, we going to Phoenix to the Arizona Cardinals hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Arizona right where they normally is. They're the home team. They're right where they normally are. In the bottom of the AFC West. The AFC, every now and then they'll have a couple good years, but nothing really sustained. Especially over a decade, like the damn, like the 49ers, can have done. Nothing over like 5 years, I should say. A decade is, it's a bit much, but yeah, uh, nothing over 3, 4, 5 years. Kurt Warner here for a couple of years. Carson Palmer had a couple of seasons that were decent. Kyler came out was decent. Now he's back and he's back to what he is. An overpaid quarterback. And they're taking and they're hosting the Niners, who are 10-3, right where they usually are, the top of the NFC West. Okay, Brock Purdy, C-Mac, even their coach said he doesn't want. He hoped they don't cancel each other out for the MVP voting. Because you can take either one of those guys. Okay, that defense is stellar. They look like they're gonna be right there. Back in the NFC thick of it in the playoffs. Okay. Another thing you need to know is that the Arizona Cardinals, both of their starting wide receivers, Marquise Brown and Michael Wilson, they're both questionable. Questionable means there's a 25% chance they'll play. And they do play, they probably won't be any damn good unless they fronting on the injury report. So San Francisco's favorite -12. I seen them coming to a Eastern time zone and split Pittsburgh's wig by like 20 something. Okay, they're going out west still to Arizona. They're -12. I brought it back to 9, and that's -157 odds. That way they can just win by 10. But the way they've been playing, they'll probably blow them out. But again, -9 at -157 odds. I'm adding half a unit again. All right, so that's 1.5 total units on that. All right, and then lastly, last game of the day, the 8:20 Sunday night football game. Got the Baltimore Ravens against the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2 first place teams. Jacksonville first place in the AFC South. Baltimore first place in the AFC North. Okay. And Baltimore, Lamar's having a MVP type season again. Even with the big tight end Mark Andrews out, you still got OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. And then Marv does what he does, running and whatnot. And, he's always, and the way he runs, somebody's gonna always break open on the scramble, or just somebody's gonna lose, lose their integrity on the defensive assignment, and always find somebody wide open and hits them. And then Jacksonville, they should be better, but to me, Trevor Lawrence kind of had a step back. 17 touchdown passes, 10 interceptions. That's not necessarily great in your third year as a starter. Not necessarily, it's not bad, but it ain't. You should be a little better than that in your third year as a starter. And top 2 wide receivers both have over 20 more targets than they have catches. So that's 40, incompletions between your top 2 receivers. One of them being a new acquisition to this year, Calvin Ridley. Now he does got 5 touchdowns. He's got, he's projected for about 70 catches still, but you hired him. You went and got him to get a little more than that with a gunslinger, what you thought was a gunslinger within Trevor Lawrence, but it looks like he's just pretty solid quarterback at this point. And that's why we're going to take Baltimore, because think Jacksonville is just a little overrated, you know, in a bad division. Okay, Baltimore is the top of the best division in the AFC, and you know Jacksonville's at the top of the worst division in the AFC. Okay, um, so we're gonna take Baltimore on the money line minus 175. Okay, again we're adding half a unit to that, so that's 1.5 units on that. So all of these games are adding a half a unit to it because of the odds are a little high. You know, we went up a little bit just to make sure we got a win. We'll add more to one game and less teams, right? So let's recap. 1 o'clock, you got the Steelers. Or I'm sorry, 1 o'clock, you got Cleveland Browns hosting the Bears. We're going to take the Cleveland Browns on the money line, minus 165, add half a unit. Okay? 4:25 p.m., San Francisco at Arizona. We're taking the San Francisco 49ers. Instead of minus 12, we're going to go back to minus 9 for minus 157 odds, all right? We're adding a half unit to that as well. Then the last game, we're also going to add half a unit to that, and that is Baltimore at Jacksonville. We're taking Baltimore on the money line, minus 175, and we're adding half a unit to that, okay? So there you have it. You got plenty of time to get online, get in line, and get to the bag. And you know the show's motto. There's games to be played. There's money to be made. We'll be back on I don't know about on video tomorrow, but definitely on podcast. But we might have to do it on video, or I might just put the pics on X/Twitter. You know, make sure you find me on there. My handle is at Biggie Rothstein on X/Twitter. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, there you have it. I'm sorry, the podcast, the radio podcast, the audio podcast is Fame Rothstein Sports Investing Show. Okay, on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Okay, tune in. You know, about 10 different places. All right, there will be a podcast on there today, audio podcast. All right, so there you have it. Let's go get our action in. Let's be safe. Let's be courteous, and we'll be back tomorrow on the podcast to talk about it. But until then, everybody, be well. Peace.